Hey everybody, this is Al Soto, just checking in, doing a training. I've been thinking a lot about teams, and I've been thinking about some of the things that are real bugaboos with teams and what are some of the challenges. And part of it is, how do we complete projects together? And I know what I do because I do it all the time, whether I'm planning a sermon, getting a sermon done. I go through the same process every time. I learned years ago from a guy, his name is Charlie Gilkey, and he has a website that's called Flourishing. I've been reading him. He does some remarkable, simple steps about how to get things done, administration. But where he lacks is in the context of team. He talks about a lot of individual play. And I want to talk a little bit about how do we get dealing with the ongoing process of dealing with completing projects as a team. How do we do that? There are 5 key steps to completing projects, and I want to give them to you if I can. And because here's the thing, what we often don't think about is that there are steps to completing objectives. When I was a football coach, I just met my high school football coach today. I was down getting some office supplies for us in Folsom, and Ron Edwards was there, and we got a chance to talk. We were talking, training happens in progressions. So if we could think of steps, how do we as a team complete steps? Well, the first one, and I'm going to give you 5 C's. That's how I do everything, right? Clarity, concreteness, commitment. You got to make a commitment. Concentration, and concentration is more than just mental concentration, and celebration. And I'm going to talk about it because, like I said, I go through this all the time. It's the same 5 steps. So let's go to the first one, clarity. If you don't have a clear idea of what you're going to do or want to do, it's hard to do anything at all. Wouldn't you agree with me? You might have a gut feeling about something, a kinda, a sorta. That's not clarity. And a lot of people get caught in action because they don't have the clarity they need to begin the action of doing. And without that clarity, it's hard to move on to other completion steps. So what is it like to have clarity? You have a general sense of what needs to be done, and there's not a lot of wheels spinning at the general level, though there may be some uncertainty at a specific level. In other words, you may not have all the boxes filled in. And by the way, can I say this? High analytics are terrible at this because high analytics want everything up front to be done. You can't. Get the big boxes. What's your clarity? What's your overall objectives? And then the rest you're going to fill in because your team's going to weigh in and people are going to contribute to that. Now, what happens if you don't have clarity? It's hard to start anything, and the things that you have started usually don't get finished. And at the end of the day, a list of things that you should have done become apparent, and then here's what happens. The self-punishment begins. Oh, how bad I did. I didn't get it done. We all live with that cycle, right? Here's the second C, okay? First is clarity. Second is concreteness. Clarity is knowing generally what needs to be done, whereas concreteness is knowing specifically what needs to be done. Getting down to the specific level is what enables you to take the vision in your head and turn it something that you can go and change your world. And so what is concreteness like? Well, you specifically know what needs to be done to complete a task or the project, and you move on to commitment, and you dig in and you set out to do it. When I do messages, I know that there are certain things that I need to prep for in my exegesis and my study, what I'm needing to do to get my information, and I just do it. I know what I need to do with the passage I'm dealing with, and I got to tackle it. So what happens when you don't have concreteness? It's just a general idea. And what happens is you frustrate people, especially with big projects, because where there's a lack of concreteness, there's going to be a lack of aim. In other words, the target that you're trying to hit, you're not going to hit the target because you're not concrete in terms of what you want to accomplish. Here's the third thing is commitment. Your team has to come to the place of having commitment. In other words, you've given clarity, you have concreteness. Now this has to get done. We have to get it done. And so what this means is this: our to-do lists and our action items have to have dates to them. In other words, there are action items that says by such and such a date, we're going to complete it. If different members of the team have dates, they share those dates, which gives you a Gantt chart or some kind of board so that everyone knows what they're committing to. And so what happens is I like to keep my task list small, because larger the task list, less commitment to get it done. So when people go, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, I got this whole list, I guarantee you what happens is they become immobilized in getting anything done, because they go out and eat a bunch of waffles and carbohydrates to kind of go, hey, I need to feel better about myself. So have a few items and make them key action items. Now, what is it like to have commitment? You're not looking at the world of possible things that need to get done, but you're looking at very specific actions that have clarity and concreteness to them so that you can get them done. And especially if you have to be accountable to another member of the team to get it done so they can advance whatever they're doing. What happens when you don't have commitment? Though you know what needs to get done, you're shooting from the hip, there's no motivation to do it, and you're just flying blind. So you got to have some steps. What do I need to do to get it done? I have to exercise this one every week: concentration. We normally understand concentration as mental concentration, but in this context, let's broaden our understanding, because it could be physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual resources. And the more you have all of those there at your so let me kind of explain this to you. Sometimes I'm working on a message and I'm hitting something and I'm at a loggers, and I know that my time to go to the gym is coming up. I'll go to the gym sometimes. I'll just go and work out, and it clears my mind. And you know what's amazing? While I'm on doing my workout, I'll sit there and I'll go, oh my, I got ideas, because my body's getting rejuvenated. Some of the stress and those things. Sometimes it's just going and closing my eyes for a few minutes. I like walking the property here. There's a lot of ways. It's more than just sitting at a desk and looking at a project. It's a body, soul, and spirit is what concentration is. You have to have the right amount of energy to complete the task that's in front of you. So that's concentration. So what does it look like to have concentration? When you commit, you complete. It's that simple. Because once you've made up your mind to do something, you harness the resources to get that one thing done, period. What happens when you don't have concentration? What happens is your mind wanders. You'll go on to different projects thinking that that's what you need to meet. And then what happens is we'll oftentimes daydream or start other projects that might be a little bit more exciting, but we're not getting our work done. At least the work that needs to get done to whatever the task is. So you got to stay focused. It's really important. And then here's the last one that's really important: celebration. Boy, we don't do this enough. We got to do it this week. We got to do it soon, because we have a lot to celebrate for Easter. And what we tend to do, because I've already heard people on our team, hey, we could have done this better. And that's all good stuff. And you're right. We need to debrief. There's a ton of stuff we could do better from this last Easter. But I could tell you something, a lot of good stuff happened. And that good stuff is that 20 people came to Jesus. Worship was enlivened. There's a lot of energy, a lot of connection and people. So we need to celebrate our wins. And celebration is important, because what celebrations do is they become points of milestones that we can look back at and acknowledge that together we've succeeded at something. It's a morale builder. It builds the trust in a team. It gives you a better posture to create a better future together. All of that's important. You celebrate. Whatever you celebrate, the size of your celebration indicates the size of your win for the team. That's just the bottom line. Whatever the size of your win is, that's the size of your celebration. So what does it look like to celebrate? No matter the outcome of our work, we get a chance as a team to celebrate and appreciate one another for the things that we've done together. That's huge. That's huge. And we get to celebrate the successes of people on the team. That is huge. What happens when we don't celebrate? We buckle down, we plow through, we go to the next thing. And to be honest with you, we don't capture fresh vision of what God is up to. Fatigue kicks in. We don't celebrate. We just look at what's happening narrowly. And two things can happen. You can develop a critical spirit real quick when you don't celebrate your successes as a team. Because invariably, fatigue kicks in and leaves us vulnerable to the more base side of what happens to us. I don't know about you, but when I'm fatigued, I can get critical, I can get harsh, I can get grumpy, all those things. We all do, and it happens and manifests in teams. So those are the 5 C's of a project. Real simple. Let me rehearse them again. Clarity, concreteness, commitment, concentration, and celebration. Team concentration involves trust. You have to have the trust that things are getting done as a team. And obviously, we're going to celebrate. We have a lot to celebrate as a result of Easter. Give me your feedback from this video. Say, hey, Al, this is what I picked up on it. I want to hear from you so that we can have learning community. I sure love you. You are all amazing. God bless you. And I hope you're having a wonderful post-Easter week as we move into the ascension of Christ and Pentecost Sunday in our new series. I love it. Who told you that? God bless you.